What's up, Vault Dwellers? It's Top Ranking Noob, and I'm back at it again with another helpful video for Fallout 76. Today I'm going to be telling you everything you know about the Marine Wetsuit Under armor, where to find it, how to upgrade it, and everything you need in order to get the shield lining, which is the top tier for modifications. If you guys find this video helpful, please smash that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. And hey, if you guys also want to check out some awesome Fallout 76 gear, make sure you head on over to U4GM. I'm going to be putting their link down in the description, along with a coupon code that's going to save you 5%. They got some really cool gear for Fallout 76. With all that being said, let's get started. Now, it's unfortunate that the Marine Under armor is hidden whenever you put on armor, outfit, power armor, because it's one of the coolest things in game, one of the coolest under armors anyways, and that's of course a matter of opinion, but it does make you look kind of like a Navy SEAL slash ninja, or a combination of the two. I'm going to be showing you where you can find the plans in order to craft both the wetsuit as well as the helmet, because they're two separate plans. I'm also going to be showing you how you can modify this Under armor all the way up to shielded wetsuit, which is going to give you the best specs. And of course, I'm going to show you how to get all the materials you're going to need in order to craft the Under armor as well as those modifications. Let's start off by looking at the plan locations. Now, the most well-known place to get these plans is called Harpers Ferry, and even though it's the most well-known, it's still also my favorite because there's two different locations that are really close to each other where this plan can drop for you. So Harpers Ferry, it's on the far right-hand side of the map, so it's a higher difficulty level. When you first spawn in, you're going to want to go towards this busted building, and there's a hole in the wall on the first floor. And as you first go in there, you're going to find this display case. And in that display case is location number 1 where you might find these Marine Wetsuit plans. Now, if this is not the plan that you need, it could be anything else, because I've seen Vault-Tec jumpsuits drop here, as well as casual Under armor drop here. Pick it up if you need it, but if you don't need it, don't pick it up, because you won't be able to server hop and look again for another plan for 24 hours. Next, as you can see, I'm heading upstairs. You might find a recipe here in this display case you might need, but what we're looking for is that second location, which is right up this roof. If you just drop down into this little room, there's another display case where you could potentially find another Under armor crafting plan. Now, another location you can check, which may spawn the suit or the helmet, is called the NAR Repair Yard. It's to the south of the map, kind of between the train station and that NAR Repair Yard is these box cars, which has a stack of boxes in it. Big surprise. If you go there, and you can see here on my map, it's just kind of the east of that repair yard. If you go up this little ramp, and on top of these boxes, it kind of spawns weird, like it's inside the box somewhat. You can find the Marine Wetsuit plans here and the helmet here on occasion as well. Again, if it's not the one that you want, don't pick it up, because you won't be able to server hop and go pick it up again. It won't appear for you for another 24 hours. Another location you can check out is called Drop Site C2, again on the far right side of the map, kind of south of Harpers Ferry. This is a second location you can look for. Typically, I'm going to find the helmet here for the Marine Wetsuit. Now, again, these plans are random, so it might not always be the helmet. As you go into the site, though, take a look at the desk. There's often a magazine just chilling out here. Since you're in the neighborhood, you might as well grab it. Now, over on the shelves, you're going to find a plan location. In this case, it turned out to be the BOS soldier uniform, which is another awesome Under armor, by the way. Again, if it's not the one you need, though, don't pick it up. If you need it, grab it. If you don't need it, leave it alone. That way you can server hop and continue to look. Once you have these plans and you got your Marine Wetsuit slash helmet, let's go on over to the Watauga shopping plaza and talk to our vendor here. Now, this guy is going to just sell you the first and second tier for the lining plans. The first one's going to be the treated lining plans. So head on over to him. Once you talk to him, go into the notes. And the first ones you're going to see is the treated lining plans for the Marine Under armor. If you haven't been here before, there's going to be other treated lining plans you might want to buy as well. Now, you have to buy the treated lining plan first and then go into your Pip-Boy and learn that plan. If you're not familiar with the Watauga shopping plaza, it's in the far southeastern side of the map. It's the most difficult part of the map, so be careful with that. Head on over to the plaza and just talk to that vendor there. He's an awesome vendor. He's got a lot of great stuff. But the marine, the lining, the treated lining under armor is what we're aiming for first. Once you purchase that, all you need to do is log out, log back in, and go to the same exact vendor, and he's going to sell you then the second tier of it's called the resistance lining for the Marine wetsuit. But you have to learn the treated lining first. So buy it, learn it, log out, log back in, and then purchase the resistance lining. So those are the first two tiers, pretty straightforward to get. Let's go ahead and talk about the third and fourth tier because that's where things get interesting. Now, the most common way to get those two tiers is through an event known as Census Violence. This is a random event that happens almost exclusively in the southeastern part of the map. So it can be in several different locations. Keep an eye out for this event. It's not the only event where this can drop, but it does seem to be the highest drop rate. All you really need to do is talk to the census robot. He's going to walk around for a little bit. Some enemies are going to attack him. You just got to keep him safe. If he does die, you can actually repair him with a little bit of steel. So it's a straightforward event. Again, it's known to have the highest drop rates for the other two tiers, which is going to be the protective lining, which is the third tier. And then, of course, the one we all really want, which is the shield lining. It's going to be the most powerful mod for the Marine wetsuit. Now, with that being said, it's not the only event that this is going to drop for. These plans can drop in just about any event that's on the east side of the map. So anything that's in the mire. So keep an eye out for any of those events. If you can't find the Census Violence, just take on one of the other events. You got Distance Thunder, Surface to Air, Bots on Parade, Irrational Fear. Anytime you see any of those, go ahead and play them because you got a small chance of being rewarded with those two tier of shield linings. Shield lining and protective lining. Now, I did say the third and fourth tier are interesting, and that's because they are rare drops, I should say. So this is going to require quite a bit of grinding. Now, I've had some controversy about needing the first and second tier in order to get the third and fourth tier to drop. A lot of people say you don't need them, but even more people say that you do. I'll tell you that it's just not worth grinding without them. So I always recommend you buying and learning the first and second tier because most of the people I've talked to, and including myself, I never got the loot drops for the third and fourth tier of any Under Armour sets until I already owned and learned the first and second tier. So just spend the money, buy the first and second tier, and that's going to improve your chance of getting the third and fourth tier drops. If I'm wrong, it's not a big deal. You lost a few caps, but if I'm right, it's going to save you hours and hours of endless grinding with no success. Once you finally have those linings, you can go and craft them. And as you can see here, if you manage to get the fourth tier, which is that ever so desired shield lining, the mod for the shield lining on your Marine wetsuit is going to give you +9 resistance damage on both damage, energy weapons, as well as radiation. Now that's cool and all, but that's really not what we're after. I mean, it's just a cherry on top. What we really want is the stats for our specials. So a shielded lining is going to give you +2 strength, +1 perception, and +1 endurance. I'll put the stats down for all of the different shield linings for the Marine wetsuit down in the description just in case you need them, but I'm going to be focusing on the shielded lining for the rest of this video because that's the best one. Alright, so now that we got the lining, let's take a look at what we need in order to craft that lining. First thing we're going to need in order to craft this is ballistic fibers, and the next thing is circuitry. Now we're going to need those two in order to craft any one of these linings, but if we're doing the protective lining or the shield lining, we're also going to need pure fluorescent flux. Let's take a look and see where we can get the ballistic fibers first. So the first place I recommend going is a place called Camp McClintock. It's a real low-level place. In fact, there's no enemies here unless you start shooting the passive robots, then they'll tear your ass up. But once you spawn here, all you want to do is go into this building. This location's got the added benefit of having some places to grab some clipboards, which is going to give you springs. We don't really need them, but they're there. We're looking for these military ammo pouches. You're going to be able to find these at just about any military-related location, so keep that in mind as you travel through the wastelands. But there's going to be a few of them here as well. Each one of these military ammo bags is going to give you 2 ballistic fibers. So as you can see here, there's also a ton of clipboards. Every clipboard is going to give you a spring, so it's a pretty sweet deal. But nonetheless, we're not here for that. We're here for these military ammo bags. On top of that, there's a place where you can actually deconstruct stuff. So if you're having some carry weight issues, just go to the back of this building. You're going to be able to find a place where you can deconstruct your items or scrap your items. But just keep an eye out for these military ammo bags. There's a couple of buildings in the back you want to keep an eye out for because there might be a couple of ammo bags there as well. Another location to keep an eye out for is Fort Defiance. This is on the lower right side of the map again, so it's the more difficult location of the map. Be careful with that. As you go into the building, though, the first thing you want to do is go into the elevator. Assuming that in order to get to this location, I should say that you must go through the Brotherhood of Steel story quest, and I'll probably post that later. When you get here, I recommend going to the 4th floor first. There's no ammo bags up here, but you will find another location where the Marine Wetsuit helmet may spawn. It's right here on top of this machine on the 4th floor. So in this case, it did actually spawn. So if you need that, go ahead and pick it up. Yet another location. I don't think any of the other locations that I showed earlier had this actually spawn. With that being said, you can always check the rooms on the 4th floor. I don't think that there are any ammo bags up here that I've ever found. However, if you go into this room with the pool table, there is a little office that might have a bobblehead and plans for artillery if you don't already have those. Nonetheless, you can also go to the 3rd floor and get more ammo bags, which is really what we're looking for the moment. I just thought I'd share that with you since we're already here. When you get to the 3rd floor, there's going to be a room right across from the elevator that's going to have, I believe, at least one ammo bag in it. Again, they don't always spawn, so I always recommend taking a look at the other throughout the entire room. I've only found one in here. They could be in the cabinets as well, but those would be random spawns. But anyways, if you go down the hall, there should be at least 2 more ammo bags. Again, on the shelves and on those containers there. So that's going to be a total of 3. Each one of those is going to give you 2 ballistic fibers, so you should get plenty through these runs. If you find yourself short on ballistic fibers, you can always go to these locations, these little forward operating bases. They got a little star on the map, and they're just little camps. They're dangerous because you usually run across Scorch Beast here, in this case 2. But if you go and just look around on the shelves, you usually find 1, maybe 2 ammo pouches, but not very many, so I recommend doing this as a last resort. Now let's see if we can grab up some circuitry. There's a location called Mount Blair Train Yard. This is going to be southwest of the map. It's a pretty low-level area, maybe about level 30. If you got some good gear, you can come here much sooner than that. It's not a tough fight. What we're looking for is an event called BattleBot. It's going to have a security robot that we're going to need to fight here. In this case, there's a few events. We're looking for the BattleBot event here. Now this robot is going to drop 4 circuitry all by himself. He's level 30, he looks big and bad, but he's really not that hard of a fight if you have decent gear. I myself have great gear, so it's a really easy fight, assuming I don't blow myself up here. But what we're interested in is his circuitry, but we're going to get more circuitry for completing this mission as well. Careful, because when he drops, he's going to wait for you to get secure. When you run up on him, that's when he's going to just self-destruct. They have it timed there for you to doubt that he's going to blow up. But he always does. Usually won't kill you. And as you can see here, he has got 4 circuitry on him, which is awesome. Now, aside from that, the reason why I like doing this event is if we can continue through the event, we're going to be able to open up a door. This door is not you're not able to open this door unless this event is active. The door will remain shut. Once you kill him, though, during this event, you can now open this set of doors here. There's going to be a couple of more robots inside, Mr. Gutsies. They have a chance of dropping some circuitry. I've never seen them do it before, though. But on the floor here, you're going to see some military-grade circuit boards, which are awesome. So this is a great event to collect circuitry. Now, aside from that, we have another location we can check out. This is the 98 NAR Regional. It's a train yard, and this is just north of White Springs. There's a couple of train tracks. You want to go to the uppermost one, I suppose. You could go to either or. But when you first spawn in here, all you need to do is kind of head southwest. You're going to find quite a bit of robots here that you can kill. Once again, these robots do have a chance of dropping some circuitry, so always make sure that you check them out, just so you're not leaving anything good behind. It's not often that they do, though, but it's worth checking out. What we're looking for is that security robot that you see in the background here. He's going to drop 4 more circuitry for us. And in this case, we got some more military circuitry from this Mr. Gutsy. Now, this is a little bit of a higher ranking security bot. So, I mean, in this case, he's a level 60, so it can be a tough fight depending on your gear. But if you're strong enough, feel free to come over here and drop him. He's going to drop 4 more circuitry for you. With that, between all the military circuitry and the circuitry that these guys dropped, we should have plenty in order to craft our shielded lining. Lastly, we're going to need to craft some fluorescent flux, and I got to apologize. In order to do this, we want to go to White Springs, but we want to go to White Springs while it was nuked. Just to get this video out, I didn't nuke White Springs, but I think I'm going to do a whole nother video on getting the fluorescent flux. When you do come here nuked, though, you want to make sure you got this green thumb perk card equipped because it's going to give you twice the harvest. All of these flowers in White Springs are going to give you that fluorescent flux. By having that green thumb equipped, you're going to be able to pick up 2 instead of 1 for each one of these plants. These plants are all over White Springs, which is why I recommend going to White Springs while it's nuked to get that. Now, aside from that, if you go to your chemical crafting station, you're going to see that you're also going to need some other items. We're going to need glowing mass, hardened mass, high radiation fluids, as well as that raw fluorescent flux. And keep in mind that raw fluorescent flux, it goes bad fairly quickly. So when you pick it up, you're going to want to craft this stable flux like as quickly as possible. I think within an hour, it goes into inert flux and it's worthless. These other items, the glowing mass, the hardened mass, the high radiation fluid, they're all dropped by enemies in nuke zones. So you can pick this up while you're in White Springs. Once you have all those items, just go to your armor crafting station, go into modify, and you should now have everything that you need for the shielded lining. Again, I apologize, I didn't take the time to grab the pure fluorescent flux in this case. But nonetheless, if you got all of those items, you can craft your shielded marine wetsuit, and you now have the coolest under armor in game. I hope you guys found this video extremely helpful, and if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I appreciate you all watching, and we'll see you next time.